What's going on? This is Brother Jay, and I'm back again with another thought of the day, man. My thought of the day is called Define Ugly. And this is mainly being a direct shot to ladies out there or other ladies from the sisterhood. Don't matter if you're black or white, that's still a combination and a corporation, you know what I'm saying, of each other, the sisterhood. How do you define ugly? Now, why do I say that? You know what I'm saying? Y'all thinking that I'm coming from the premise of being insensitive. No, I'm not insensitive. I'm a realist. You know what I'm saying? And I'm coming from my own point of view. So I want to make sure when I say this, all this material I'm saying right now is from my point of view. You know? And the thing is, women have a hard time calling out other women that are viewed as ugly as ugly. It's always well, but she has a nice spirit about her, and she's internally beautiful, and so you just need to discover the beauty within her, and all this mind warping shit. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about what's internally inside her. We're talking about perception. What do you see? Now, what I'm referring this on is that there was a panel on the whatever podcast, and they had a truckload of ladies on there, and they put up a picture of a white woman, you know what I'm saying, that was physically altered. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, it was her face but on somebody else's body, you know what I'm saying, that was well endowed and everything. Then you had another black woman whose face was chubby as fuck. You know what I'm saying? On top of a chubby body and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And with blackened face. You know what I'm saying? So I could have called that racist how they did that, but I'm not gonna call it like that. You know what I'm saying? But their main premise was they were saying, you know, from a man's point of view, what man will pick which woman? And none of the fucking female participants on the panel ever had the balls or the titties to say that the woman on the right is ugly. You know what I'm saying? They ain't have that fortitude to say that. But they probably would say that if they in front of their direct girlfriends. See, the sisterhood is cool and en masse. But when it comes to cliques, the sisterhood will turn against you. You know what I mean? You know, like in high school. You know, you have the fucking cheerleaders. They don't mind telling the other cheerleaders that this other bitch is ugly and fat. You know what I'm saying? But if it's in front of another dude, they won't say that. You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, well, you just got to get to know her and shit. You got to understand her better. Dudes out there, how many times have you been hooked up, you know what I'm saying, by a woman who said, my friend is beautiful, and you know what I'm saying, and she's single and she wants to meet someone. And then you meet her and she's this big old giant flounder and shit, and you're like, why would you introduce me to her? And this woman have the nerve to say to you that she's beautiful. You know, you're like, what beauty do you see in her? I mean, if you was in my shoes, would you date her? And she has the nerve to say that she would. And then you remember by looking at your friend, of all the men she rejected, calling them ugly, and they was fat. But she has the nerve to say to you that, you know what I'm saying, you should date her fat friend. Man, look, you know what I'm saying? See, motherfuckers ain't dealing with reality today. This is fantasy land we're living in. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I do love is that, see, when you kick it around men are real. You know what I'm saying? Which means that if he's kicking with this dude over here and he's saying, hey, that bitch is ugly as shit, he means that. He means there's no way she gets no parts of the dick. You know what I'm saying? Not even the dream sequence. You know what I'm saying? And he has the nerve to tell you to your face if you are ugly or not. You know what I'm saying? See, me, I'm a realist. People look at me sideways saying, because what I say, which is that I view myself as a 5, and on a good day, a 6. Because at least 5 is average. I am not the ugliest motherfucker, but I'm not the most handsomest motherfucker out there. I'm decent. You know what I'm saying? My whole thing is, I'm just glad I wasn't one of the ugly motherfuckers. That's what I'm glad for. I don't have to be the handsomest, but as long as I'm not the ugly motherfucker. But women cannot call out ugly to another woman's face. You know what I'm saying? Every woman in their eyes, especially when they talking to them, has some beauty about them, so they hide behind that magical facade and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But they can't tell her the real, because if they told her the real, that'll shatter her reality. Not only that, but that ugly broad might point back flaws about that person that criticized her. So that's the reason why women do not criticize each other. Is because if I call you out on my perception of how you're ugly, you might call me out on your perception of how I'm ugly. Like the big old giant zits on my face and the big old giant craters and the pimples and shit. That's why you see, you know what I'm saying, that motherfuckers want to be called out on their shit, because they know that they doing a lot of phony shit, which is that, you know what I'm saying, they wearing fucking, you know what I'm saying, all kinds of 2-3 layers of makeup and stuff like that, and fake eyelashes and stuff like that, with plucked off eyebrows that been penciled in and stuff like that, with fucking, you know what I'm saying, a wig on and shit like that, or a weave and shit like that. See, I'm going to talk about just the face only, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to the face only, a lot of people don't understand the history of what makeup or cosmetics was in play for. It was meant for, you know what I'm saying, entertainers. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people think that, you know what I'm saying, the layer of makeup was just for movie stars, because if you look in the back in the days, like the 1920s and all like that, the 30s, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They had the movies saying where the woman looked like extremely fucking radiant and everything. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't understand cosmetics was meant to protect a woman's face from the lights that was beaming on her, because they doing, like, you know what I'm saying, 14-hour shots and stuff like that, maybe sometimes 18-hour shots. That does a whole bunch of damage on your face. You know what I'm saying? And see, a lot of people don't understand, it's not just in the 1920s. Makeup been around with women since, like, you know what I'm saying, the late 1700s to fucking 1800s, because they had theater actors before they had TV shows or TV stars. You know what I'm saying? So they always protected their skin from the lights that was very fucking potent and dangerous. Motherfuckers get skin cancer from the lights. So in case you need to know the history of cosmetics, that's why a lot of stars use that shit. So now what motherfuckers did in the civilian world was try to mimic the stars by using the same cosmetics that they was using. You're not under the lights and stuff like that on a consistent basis, so you don't need to protect your skin that bad, unless you live in a humid environment. Like for example, like this. If you out on the beach, you know what I'm saying, like for example, you in Miami, and it's a hot fucking day, a white woman and stuff like that. If you don't put no tanning lotion on you, nigga, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna fry the fuck up and burn the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know what I'm saying, it was advisable, especially to a lot of white people are those of fair complexion, because it's not just white people, it's Latinos and, you know what I'm saying, Asian and all other people. You had to put this skin complexion on, you know what I'm saying, to protect your skin so you don't burn the fuck up, because you don't have the melanin to protect your skin like darker people do. You know what I'm saying? But the point still is, To land my plane and bring my thought of the day to a conclusion, ladies do not believe in breaking the sister code and calling another woman ugly, even though she already views that she's ugly. You know what I'm saying? She won't call her ugly. You know what I'm saying? She'll sit there and say, girl, you're cute and shit like that. But see, pretty women need ugly women in their company. And you ask me, why? Well, that's easy. Because they need someone to block. You know what I'm saying? When dudes approach a woman and be like, hey, baby, how you doing and shit, she'll give that ugly woman a look, and the ugly woman come up like, oh, she got a man and shit like that. She's taken and shit. She's married. You know, that woman will block. You know what I'm saying? And you'll notice that hardly nobody approaches her, so she already got a anger on, mad on. She's already beefing anyway. So she's going to be quick to say, no, get away from her girlfriend. Get away. She's a lesbian. We sleeping together. You know what I'm saying? Knowing damn well you're looking at her like, bullshit. There's no way y'all sleeping together. You know what I'm saying? She's fine like this, and you're just this gelatinous mass of a lady. She'll be going to bed with you, but she won't go to bed with a fat dude? Fuck out of here. Anyway, I'm out of here on that one, man. Deuces.